In this video, I'm going to talk about one of the biggest and most expensive mistakes that newbie podcasters make. My name is Kevin Schmidlin. I have coached over 350 podcasters in my accelerator program, and I have also served more than 20,000 podcasters on my podcast, which is called Grow the Show. And after working with so many newbie podcasters over the years, I have noticed that there is one mistake that many new podcasters make when they just get started out. And here's what it is. They think that you have to spend hundreds, even thousands of dollars on new fancy equipment and sound treatment to make their show sound professional. And I've seen it time and time again. Podcasters who are just starting out have not yet proven that their show concept is one that worked, or even don't even fully know that they want to be a podcaster for a long time, will drop several grand on crazy expensive microphones, crazy expensive cameras and lighting and soundproofing. Some even go so far as to build an entire audio studio just as they're getting started in podcasting. But they do not need to do that to have a professional sounding show. The reality is that, in my opinion, you really only need three things to sound really professional as a podcaster: the right high quality recording software, a dynamic microphone, and a great room to record in that doesn't have too much echo. This day and age, most podcasters' show involves them interviewing guests, and a lot of those interviews today happen remotely over the internet, which is awesome. But here's the thing. A lot of podcasters who record remote interviews over the internet without naming names use very popular business conferencing software to have that discussion and to record it. Now, this might seem appealing because virtually everybody knows already how to use certain video conferencing softwares, and they already might have that software installed on their computer. And like I said, they know how to use it. So it's really easy to use that software to record. But here's the problem. That software is not made for interview recording. It's not made for creating content that sounds professional. It's made for having meetings that are professional. It's made for business conferencing. In fact, this business conferencing software actually intentionally lowers the quality of your audio and video recordings. Because when you're having a business conference, it's not important that it's super high quality. It's important that you can hear each other. But it's a different story when you're recording content for the purpose of your podcast. You want that content to be as high quality as you can possibly make it. That way your listener has the best experience. And so instead of using business conferencing software that intentionally lowers the quality of your recordings, I highly recommend you use software that is specifically meant to record high quality podcasts. I personally use Riverside. Literally tens of thousands of other podcasters, including myself and Guy Raz and Gary Vee and Spotify and the New York Times and literally tons of others, use the same platform, and they do that because it works. What's great about it is that it does have really high quality audio and video recordings. Those recordings are on separate tracks, which is key if you want to do any editing on your content, which I highly recommend you do. Riverside has unbelievably high recording quality, and that's regardless of how good or bad your guest's internet connection is, which is great. It's not reliant on internet connection, so even if their connection is bad, the audio is still going to be good. And here's the kicker. It records the audio and video feeds of each person on separate tracks, which means if you're somebody who edits your content, which I recommend that you do, it makes it way easier and way better for you to edit that content and have the most amount of control over the final product. You don't need to have anything installed on your computer. Your guests don't either. You just send a link, they click on it, they join, and boom, you're off. And I know sometimes it can be intimidating to use new software, but I'm telling you, it is worth it. It's intuitive, it's easy to use. Do it. If you want to try it out, you can click the link in the description. And if you use my code GROW, you'll get 15% off a membership plan. Second thing, a dynamic microphone does not have to be crazy expensive. You don't have to use the one that I use, which costs $400. You can get a great $50 dynamic microphone on Amazon, or if you want, you can get the one that I recommend, which does cost a little over $200. It's called the Shure MV7. It's USB, it's super affordable. It sounds basically just like this more expensive one. It's awesome. That's all you need. You do not need a $400 or $1,000 microphone to have great sound. Now, what's actually more important than the microphone that you're using is where you're using it. You want to record your audio in a room that does not have a lot of echo. Now, a lot of the homes of podcasters include rooms that have hardwood floors, relatively nothing on the walls, so maybe a couple paintings here and there, but it's very in style right now for interior design to be pretty minimalist. There isn't a lot of stuff. There's not tons of furniture. There's no carpet. What that does, it makes it look cool, but it also makes your room super, super echoey. And when you record a podcast episode in a room that is super echoey, that echo tends to make its way on the recording. And that, my friends, is one of the things that makes a show sound the least professional. Tons and tons of echo in the background. Now, I'm not saying that you have to pay tons of money on sound treatment. And yes, I have sound treatment panels behind me. Those aren't required. I just like how they look, and I spent an afternoon making them because I like to do DIY projects, but that type of stuff is totally not required for your podcast to sound really high quality. If you use a dynamic microphone and you record in a room that doesn't have too much echo, you will be almost there. And by the way, the biggest pro tip that I can provide is that if you are in a room that has lots of echo and you want a quick hack for how you can reduce the echo quickly, put pillows in the corners of the room on the floor. So if you have a hardwood floor and you have two walls that meet that are super flat, if you stick a pillow in the corner, it'll actually make the room way less echoey because the corner where three hard surfaces meet is actually the part of the room that makes the most echo. So there you have it. If you are a brand new podcaster and you're thinking about dropping tons and tons of cash on expensive equipment and building a studio and soundproofing and all that stuff, I don't recommend that you do that. All you need to do to sound really professional is, number one, use great recording software like Riverside to make sure that you have really high quality audio and video recordings. Number two, get a great dynamic microphone that'll plug into your computer. And number three, record yourself in a room that is not super echoey. And that's all you need. So that is it for this video. I will see you in the next video here on the Grow the Show YouTube channel.